Sorry for the delay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, October 13th, and it's currently 7:07. And I would love to have a motion to start the October town meeting.
Councilmember Jackson, I'll make that motion to start the town meeting.
Okay, second.
Councilmember Blue, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This meeting, oh, I got my gavel this time. Meeting is now in order. Okay, let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now if we can take a moment of silence to think about those shut in, those who are sick and unwell, those we have lost, and those who just need our thoughts. Let's take a moment. Okay, thank you. Now let's take a moment and rejoice in fresh air, our ability to breathe, having friends and family and people close to us, thinking about all the ones that we love and appreciate and everything that we have to be grateful in life. Let's take that moment and rejoice. All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so our next item on the agenda would be a report on the work session. However, we have two additions that have been requested to the agenda. One is for us to vote on accepting our election judges for our town election. And the other is about our sump pumps and some required maintenance in our sump pumps. So can we add those two items to the agenda, please? Is there any objections?
No.
None.
Okay. Both new items are on the agenda. Okay. Next thing on the agenda is to discuss what we did at the work session. So at our work session, oh, well, first of all, let me make sure I have all my council present. Let me take a roll call. Councilmember Blue?
Present.
Okay. I thought you were going to come on live.
I tried it, Mayor. I was just ready to get in the car and come up and show Tracy. Had some problems.
Oh, okay. Well, you can. I mean, nobody's in the office, so you can come up and go in the office and try to get on.
Okay.
Okay, that's Ward 1, Ward 2. Councilmember Bowden?
You're muted, Cynthia.
I'm not sure that she's on. She didn't answer us from earlier.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm seeing something. Cynthia? Cynthia, I can see your space. I can't see your face. Can you look at the camera? Okay, there you go. Now click on the mute button towards at the top. Click on the mute button. You see there you go. Okay. Are you present?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ward 3?
Yes, I'm here. Ward 3. Yes.
Okay. Ward 4?
Present.
Okay. So note that they're all present. And Mr. Baden will not be joining us this evening. We are joined by Chief of Police Stone, present. And Mr. Barr?
I am here.
All right, present. Okay, for the record. Okay, so for the work session, we discussed potentially having a speed bump put in Ward 3 on 41st Avenue. And our next actions on that is to send a letter to the residents of that street to see if this is something they're interested in doing before pursuing it further present. And then the next item is hall rental. Hall rental is for 2021. Councilmember Jackson, who has said she does not plan to run for her seat, had asked for free rental considering that we were not able to have that during the year. And we actually voted to allow anyone who may no longer be elected for the next year, who was elected this year, because they were deprived of that opportunity. That was motion by Bowden and second by Mendoza, and the vote was 4-1-0, primarily because we couldn't hear a council member. So the next item is right hand, well, I think it's left hand warm heart is what it's supposed to be. On the agenda, it actually says right hand, left heart. So anybody looking at it will see that. For 2025-20, this is something we have traditionally worked with this organization and holding a Christmas event for our under-housed population. And Councilmember Jackson wanted to speak to us continuing to allow the organization to use the facility for the kitchen purposes, and that they would then be delivering the food. And all was in agreement. There were no objections. We voted on budget adjustments. So for some reason, I did not list who was to vote on this, but there were budget adjustments that were put forward to us from Mr. Baden. We did end FY 20 with a surplus, a significant surplus, but in order to level out the line items, we did adjustments in order to budget everything in its place, with the exception of the census and moving one of the police items onto the correct line item. We voted to accept those adjustments. We discussed the server upgrade, which is being recommended by our data company, and we will be moving forward information on that matter. We had the parking ordinance review. This is where we talked about what we already have as a parking ordinance, which is in 3 parts, in the process of putting all the parts together and moving forward with the ordinance with corrections. So we really discussed that to make sure everything was as it was intended in the votes. We talked about Thanksgiving giving and agreed to provide I have my notes.
Oh,
$3,000, which we are able to provide on this round under the CARES Act. We will be doing another 3 in November and another 3 in December, $50 to 60 households. I will also share with you guys, we have a resident angel who is going to be also contributing another $300 to our pot, so that we'll be able to give some more funds, and they wish to remain anonymous. We voted to provide an additional $300 to supplies, and they have come in. The people who have requested it, they have got their supplies. Everybody, they got what they asked for, and so we did good. We did good. Over 35, I think, people who needed that help. And if we need them additional help again, we can still look at giving them some additional help from the grant we got through the shopping center later on this year. We talked about street cleaning, and I wanted to recognize to the residents as well as everybody else that it does appear that we need some additional maintenance on our street as it relates to cleaning. I do want to urge everybody, as been mentioned by a lot of people, that people are being a little bit lax about making sure trash goes in the trash and not overusing the town trash cans for any personal trash from your household. That was discussed quite a bit. And we are going to be looking at some college students to help us and about helping us on helping us in cleaning our streets. Mr. Gordon, the public works supervisor, will also be getting in contact with, or Mr. Jerome will either also be getting in contact with the school that have been working with us in order to do a help us clean the streets, help us like do it like a lot, because a lot of people are just constantly, putting trash into the streets. And we want to focus some more on getting up the leaves. They should be clearing the leaf vacuum cleaner soon to be able to come out and start clearing up the leaves. What made any difference was before the rainstorm we had a couple of days ago, because just put all the leaves back in the street again. But we know we want our streets to look good. On Newark Road, as you know, we've had a lot of complaints as it related to people watering on Newark Road, so we had a full discussion about that. We talked about potential Halloween activities and how we might want to work on doing something for that. And we had a lively conversation with a couple of residents that were also on the call so that we could come up with a plan. And I'll give you a follow-up on where that stands right now in my report. The Mayor's Park fence. We know that the fencing needs to be repaired. We have one quote for 2125. There's a couple of quotes that are in here today. So hopefully, we did vote to actually move forward. We just need to pick who we want to. That vote was made by Jackson and second by Mendoza in moving forward with that. In the town hall, we talked about the town hall mortgage. We talked about having a grand opening also for the Mayor's Park. So we did agree that we will do that on October 31st to prelude our Harvest Fest activities. And then we talked about the town hall mortgage and asked Mr. Baden to review the mortgage since that we're having such a tight budget crunch for this year and will be significant for next year, to review the mortgage and see if through a mortgage adjustment that we might be able to bring that cost down. We and that was the work session. Organization. And we did talk about getting some additional funds for making sure that we reach out to our elected officials at other levels to contribute to our Thanksgiving food and food bank. All right, so I'm going to go now to council reports. Ward 1, do you make a report?
Can you hear me? Hello. Yes, Mayor, I want to say, get well to the sick ones in town, and don't forget to check on your neighbors. And I want to remind the neighbors to stop at the stop sign. There's been a lot of people just driving straight through the stop signs, and that's how accidents happen. There's no Halloween knocking on the doors this year. I want to say happy birthday to the October people. Watch out for the kids playing in the street. Also, I know it's time to vote, election and everything, and that won't be here. That'll be in Bladensburg High School for the election if you're not a mail-in or early voter. I also want to say thank you to the police department, Jerome and Mike, for the food distribution here at the town hall. And I have a couple of thank yous that the citizens in Ward 1 personally told me to thank the town and Shabak and all the other Ward organizations where the food comes from. Our senior van bus is back up, and you can call the town hall to schedule appointments. There is no senior club meeting scheduled as of yet because of the virus. Burger King is back open. It looks beautiful, and you can eat inside small groups. There's no eating outside, but the carryout's open also. Um, Make sure this time of year that you're locking your car door. I have someone said a laptop was taken out of their car also. And other than that, I just want to say everyone stay safe and have a happy Halloween. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Councilmember Blue. Councilmember Bowden?
Oh, wait a minute, I don't have a report, but I have a prayer. Okay. Our day, you, Lord. We need you to please with this nation, heal, restore our strength, renew our minds, and cast out anything that's not of you. In your son's name, we pray. Amen. And together we can beat this virus. And I just urge everybody to get out and vote like you never voted before.
Amen.
Amen.
Mm, amen.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Jackson?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Councilman Brolin, thank you for saying that prayer. I felt it, I needed it, and thank you. I just want to start off with something very happy. I'm so proud of the residents in Colmar Manor with our sensors. I'm so excited. I know the sensors is the mayor baby, and she's worked very hard at getting people out. I mean, I look at all the other towns and stuff, and we're like doing such a great job. So kudos to everyone who completed their sensors. I think we may have about a few left, but if we can push that over, I'm so excited about that. Also, just want to let you know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I'd like for our police department just to put some on our website page and our town page, just some information about domestic violence. I know on the 17th, the town of Bladensburg is having a candlelight visual, so people can know that if they need help, they can um, call someone. If they feel uncomfortable to call the police, they can call someone, because no one should be in a be somewhere that they're not safe. Also, with election 2020 coming up, I know a lot of residents are doing early voting, and they're dropping off for the town of Colmar Manor. Our two election closest drop-off boxes at Northwestern High School and also at Bladensburg High School. Just wanted to let you know that so you can drop your ballots off. Also, thank you, Mayor, for sending out a letter to the residents about Pepco. I know in my ward I had a lot of residents concerned about Pepco coming into town, putting up the poles and stuff, and I assured them that the town did not know at that time. And then I was pleased that a letter came out from you stating exactly what I said. Um, I think everyone knows I'm not running for my position again. And I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm not running. I'm looking forward to see who the candidates will be who will be taking my spot. Thank you.
Right, and thank you for those kind words, Councilmember Jackson. We try. Councilmember Mendoza?
I don't really have anything to say, but just good evening to everyone, and thank you, Mayor, for your words, and my fellow council members, especially Council Member Cynthia Bowden. That was truly awesome that you brought that up. But that's all, nothing more.
Okay. Council, oh, that's, okay, so I'll give you my report. I will start by saying I had reached out to Mr. Tony Ruffin, who is our liaison to PEPCO. Something fell apart in communications. I am staying on that until I completely understand why that happened. He didn't know anything about it when I reached out to him, which made no sense. As our municipal liaison, they should have been at a minimum contacted him to say this is would be happening in the town. So he's running down that evidence to determine how that happened, because we can't let these things go. We are a incorporated municipality of the state of Maryland. And so we have the right to know when someone's coming in our town. So I want y'all to know, I will stay on that until I can report out to you how they would resolve that not happening again. I want to just mention that I am going to be pursuing, I actually wound up running into prior delegate Tarlo yesterday and asked him, because I know that there was some conversation about stop sign cameras. Even as I was reviewing our minutes that we're planning to vote on today, it is a recurring theme. You guys, and then myself, keep speaking about the speeding and people running through stop signs. So I'm thinking right now, when I see themes like this, it is time to start pursuing that legislation. So I'm just letting y'all know, I'm going to be pursuing that with Senator Augustine and our delegates to see if we can get some enabling legislation because it doesn't seem to be getting better. And it's like the whole parking thing, you know, it was a theme and we had to try to do something about it. So I'm looking forward to working on that project. Of course, I'll be keeping you all informed as we learn more about it. But we actually finally got the bazaar open this weekend. We got a day in. It was a lot. I mean, it was good enough. It was good enough, you know, and people got sold things. So excited that we got it started. I've had some additional conversations about lessons learned with Abigail. We'll be making some adjustments to what we're doing. Anybody here who's listening, we're just going to, instead of just doing the special half price, we're going to stay at the $25 and on the weekend. We are pursuing a tree provider for the Christmas holiday. And we have a message out to the Tree Association of something or other, and have heard back from one tree person. And so we're waiting to see what else we can get from that. Hey, listen, I want you guys to give a clap out the fact that I am looking at all five. Oh, where did you go, Ms. Councilman Wood? She was just there. I was looking at all four of my council members where we're all visible. So that will start it. We'll be putting out some additional information on how it will run. We're also going to change some of the times based on the feedback that we got. Another piece of feedback we got is that some people really want to do not new products. So we're talking about doing 1 day a week, which would be a Sunday, for those people who want to. They're still going to be in their 10 by 10 space, but they want to sell products that are not new products, so that we can achieve that. We got a lot of feedback of people who want to sell not so new products, which I think we also should start talking about perhaps another community yard sale, because I feel like people want to purge. They've been home for a long time in a lot of ways, and you know, they've seen things, they want to get out of their way. And so we can talk about how we might do that in the next couple of weeks. I know it's getting a little bit cold, but it's not that cold yet. We'll still have some mild weather for a little while. And yes, the census has been a big deal to me. We are at 79% right now. We are number. Yes. I mean, I am amazed with our reach. We're supposed to be a hard to reach community, but it really means that we have some really good connections with our residents, and everybody's been doing such a good job. I want to put out there that I am so glad that they extended it till October 31st, giving us a chance to even get some more in. But looking forward to putting out another notice of a raffle. We have a good amount of money left in this raffle, which was intended to be for celebration, having a celebration event at the end. And so we will celebrate by raffling off $200 and $300 certifications. I know people out there need $200 or $300, and we'll be able to give out a few. So if you're lingering and doing the census, or at least certifying with us that you did the census, please consider getting out there for the census and getting it done. I can send out our Google form sheets again. So those who have not filled them out can fill them out so they can be included in our raffle, which I expect to do in November. So get your census out there. Let's get those numbers up. And if you know people who haven't done it yet, please go and encourage them to do it. We're at 79%. We're number 4th in the county of 27, and we're number 27 in the state of 157. So excellent job, everybody.
Yay!
Yay. And I want to, the mayors all went out to the voting drop-off out in Orlando on Saturday. So we did a media event so that they could see, people could see the mayors voting. And we had a great turnout. All the mayors of Prince George's County are very committed to supporting getting our people out to vote. And I'm going to ask the chief when he gets on, well, we have a line item on for the specifics of the election, and then the chief can give you some dates as to how that, how and what you need to be thinking about doing, and hopefully a website that you should consider going to. The Maryland Black Mayors in the interim has done a census. We did a census video a couple of weeks ago, and to push for the vote. And we're next working on an election video. So the Maryland Black Mayors will be doing an election video, and so that everybody can, we can encourage people to come out and vote. Let's see what else we got here. That's it. Oh, we Senator Cardin held a town hall meeting, so that was great to listen to him, to hear what was going on in Congress and what was some of the challenges of the things that they're trying to get done. It has been very challenging, and it is important for everybody to go out and vote because we need to make sure we have people in place that are going to help and support and grow us. MML had their virtual conference last week, and which was interesting. I did learn some things about utility relief that's out there. There's also rental relief. So I'm going to try to find some of the information on this rental relief. Apparently, the state went out, to offer this release and didn't get a very good response. And that was discussed in one of the meetings that we've had recently. They're going to revamp the way that they're doing this process because they think they're doing something wrong. They're not reaching people. So, and I didn't know it existed either. So I'm looking forward to really researching what this is so that people may be able to get rental relief. In the meantime, I want to remind everybody that the moratorium on utilities ends November 15th. So if because of the virus, on whatever reasons or strains that you have not been able to take care of your utilities, now is the time to start making some arrangements with the utility companies to take care of those things because the time is running out and we don't know if there'll be an extension. If you need help or support and trying to figure those out, our staff here always will try to get you to the right site. You know, we don't do this, we don't exactly have the direct ability to impact these things, but they are helpful in helping everybody, which is part of the reason we have a good result in our is staff just really directly trying to help people through the process. Since the last month, we've given over 3,000 diapers out here in the town of Colmar Manor, and hopefully we'll be getting our new stack of diapers again coming soon. We've also given out hundreds and hundreds of meals. The last 3 weeks we hadn't gotten any because everybody's in transition from the spring season, from the summer season to the fall seasons, and they're switching up foods and getting foods from different suppliers. And so we're waiting. We know we're going to be getting some more food from Shabak this week and getting that out. And then later on, we'll get some, and we're hoping we'll be back up and running with Bladensburg soon. I want to mention the stripes on Newark Road are gone. You guys notice? And so, and then we have a very happy resident there. I saw her this morning, and she's really happy about that because she was ready to move to Canada. Again, that was a challenge getting through that. So I'm really happy to hear that. I also want to thank the police that our gatherings on Newark Road have calmed dramatically, and that has not gone unnoticed. That we that you know, and the police have gently dealt with the situation, and it's good to see. So hopefully, I know the county executive have opened up one-sided basketball courts now, and so that's what people want. So hopefully, it'll be bringing the hoop back to the basketball courts, and they can at least play one side. It's supposed to be girls on the court. Okay. Oh, I just want to mention that we are moving forward. We have made an agreement in moving forward with the Newark Road permeable pavers and have a plan of action, and that's moving forward. So I want to report on that. That myself and Mr. Dayton spoke to our contractor last week, and we're in progress on that. I want to let everybody know that we are now reporting out to Bates absolutely every time we encounter a problem, whether it was trash left on the street or whether it was trash can left in the street or in front of somebody's driveway, as much as we possibly can observe. If the lids are left open, especially on a rainy day, and so forth. So we've been trying to be very diligent every time we have a Bates event to report out. And in response to that, Bates is now reporting directly to us when they have a problem with something that's wrong with what our resident has done. Now, I think that's a good thing because now we built this a communication channel. So if a resident can call up here and say they're upset or angry because of, oh, Bates didn't do this and Bates didn't do that. If Bates has already reported to us, we know why. And so we can say, this is why it happened to you. And so it's not just in limbo. So the trash guys are taking pictures and then they submit their pictures up to us to say, okay, this resident didn't do this the way it was supposed to be done. And that's all going to help us all start to get all on the same page with what we need to be doing. So I'm happy that we went there and they came back. In terms of Hollowfest, there was another meeting yesterday with a couple residents and rec council, and recreation, Renee, and they are moving forward, basically kind of planning things out from what we talked about last week. So everybody's moving forward with that, and so I'm happy to see that done. So I thought it wasn't a whole lot, but it's been a very busy month, and we continue to move forward. Thank you. That's the end of my report. Okay, so treasurer's report. You guys, I don't know, Mr. Barr, if you want to, it doesn't matter. I have to get up and go get my glasses because I cannot see what was sent to us.
Well, I had to put on my glasses also, Mayor, but let me just.
Okay. I'm going to grab my glasses.
The report that we have here from Mr. Baden is for the first quarter of fiscal 2020-2021. It shows $96,711 in receipts. That is everything from $62,000 in taxes to property tax, to $28 on a, looks like van income. And town expenditures, well, the general expenditure shown on the first page, $70,000 for that
Sorry,
month.
Mr. Barr, this is Councilmember Jackson. I think someone needs to mute their phone because it's kind of hard to hear you. It's a lot of background noise.
Thank you, council member. Let me just look here a minute. Uh,
Okay, so what happened? Barb, over this?
He was in the process of going over it, but he seems to be muted now, and I can't seem to unmute him. He's back now.
We had some people that were on here, and it wasn't successfully muted, and consequently, we had a lot of battle noise in the background. The rest of the report is there for everyone to see. It's, I think, an excellent first quarter report, and I would recommend on Mr. Baden's behalf that you adopt it. Are there any comments or questions?
Okay, okay, so what I will mention, and this will be posted on our website, if anybody wants to review it directly themselves. We would normally we're at 25% of our year. From a revenue perspective, our revenues come in September and January, mostly for real property. And then, real estate property. And our percentage of expenses so far from general expenses is 17%. For payroll benefits is at 36, and that has to do with the fact that our budgets are based on our incomes that we suggested, but we paid hazard pay for members of our staff that are, have to be present in the COVID environment. Senior vans at 15% is that we started a little bit, right? Code enforcement at 17%, public works at 21%, community center, the town hall at 23%, public safety at 25%, 10% for the community center operations, or less low, of course, because we don't have anything going on. And therefore, our expenses are a little about 15%, where they might normally be 25. So even though we're dealing with a difficult time, we've been restricted. We've been strict in spending funding, and so it is, as Mr. Barr said, an excellent budget. Treasurer report. What did I want to add? When we did our budget adjustments last year ending, one of the things that was interesting or significant, as you all know, we spoke a lot last year about getting our LED lights. And while we had normally been spending $35,000 to $40,000 for lights, we were even able to make an adjustment that we didn't spend more than $20,000, even though we even budgeted down $10,000 from, about $10,000 from what we normally spend. I said $40,000, I believe it was. So this was a really great thing. We didn't have to pay for it. It was paid for by a grant, and yet it's saving us thousands of dollars already. So I'm really excited about what that has done for us. I can't imagine if we can get some funds to get our street lighting LED and how many more thousands of dollars. So we're going to start pursuing those things to see how much more funding we can get. Council members, do you have any comments or questions about the treasurer's report? Okay, is there a council member that would like to accept the treasurer's report?
Melinda Mendoza, I'll make that motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Councilmember Mendoza makes the motion, and then who's the second? Is there a second? I think you're trying, Ms. Blue, but okay, I heard Cynthia, but I couldn't hear you. Check your mute. Okay, so I have that recorded as Mendoza and Bowden. And I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3, 4.
Aye.
Okay, mayor votes aye, 5-0. All right, thank you, Mr. Barr, for helping us out there. And thanks, Mr. Baden. Okay, so now we're at the police report. Chief Stone, you want to give us an update on what's going on out there?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. Copy of the police report was sent to the Mayor and Council and is also available on the website. For the month of September, there were 98 calls for service in the town, either calls for service or where a police officer initiated an event in their report. I'm just going to hold that up for the moment. In that, those are how the dispatcher put the call in for service, and is not always 100% accurate. One example is on here is listed as suicide. We had one of those listed last month, similar. Not a suicide. Sometimes the calls gets dispatched that way, but in this case, it was someone taken to the hospital, but not a suicide, not an attempt suicide, no injured person, anything along those lines. For the month of September, those calls for service ended in 9 police reports for the month, and I'll go over those individually. On September 3rd, we had a vandalism reported at the Lucky Mart. In that case, suspect threw eggs on a vehicle. Suspect is known, and there'll be charges filed in that. On the 7th, we did have a homicide in town in the 3500 block of 37th Avenue. There was a stabbing. The victim was identified as Franklin Vasquez. He's a resident of Colmar Manor. And the suspect was Gerald Day. He's been arrested and is currently being held on a no bond status. And I'll address that incident later in the report. On the 8th, there was an injured person in the 4300 or 3600 block of 43rd Avenue. He had some not serious injuries, but serious enough to be taken to the hospital, and that was determined to be an accidental fall and not an assault. On the 8th, also, we had 2 unattended children in a running vehicle in the shopping center. The adult caretaker was located and was charged a criminal citation with leaving the children unattended. We had a theft at the CVS, resulting in 2 arrests and over $400 worth of merchandise recovered. That was on the 8th. A hit and run at 40th and Bladensburg Road on the 10th. That incidentally was during that major rainstorm, minor hit and run, no injuries reported. We had a theft at the pet store in the shopping center on the 14th. There was no arrest in that. The suspect fled. We had a threats complaint on the 18th as a residence in town. And that, without going into great detail, is an incident where the complainant is from outside the country and was receiving complaints or receiving threats that their loved ones were in trouble in another country, but nothing came of that. There was no validity to it. And then finally, we had another theft at the CVS on the 23rd, and CVS seems to be a popular place to be late for thefts. Going back to the homicide on the 7th, that occurred in the evening of the 7th in Prince George's County. police investigated that and were able to make an arrest within 24 hours. What I want to stress with that is our officers were on the scene of that and have made contact with the two subjects prior to, and our officer was knew both persons' name, and really that led to the quick closure. Without that, it could still be an open case and we'd be looking for an unknown person. But that our officers knowing the community and knowing the people in. So at the September meeting, Mayor and Council authorized purchase of body cameras. We received those. I'm wearing one now. Myself and the officers will be wearing them all the time. And our insurer, legit local government insurance trust, provided half of the funding for that, which thank you for. As was mentioned earlier, the Shopping Center, Colmar Manor, made a donation to the town recently. A portion of that funding was used to provide school supplies for students in the town. We were able to assist 29 families for a total of 75 students with items to assist with their virtual learning at home. One of the, I guess, the most requested item was the headphones with the microphone, so they could listen to their teacher in silence. I think the whole family appreciated that. That was good. As was mentioned a couple times tonight, no trick-or-treating in Colmar Manor due to the COVID-19, but we are working on some alternative fun for the kids, keeping the social distancing and all that in mind. And finally, since all this has started with the COVID-19, we've been doing the food distribution. And if anyone needed assistance, please contact Renee here at Town Hall. And I'll touch on the code report real quick. Code enforcement officer issued 24 high grass notices during the month. 2 notices regarding bulk trash. And that's usually being put out on the wrong day. And then 2 warnings regarding abandoned vehicles on private property. And that is my report.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief. Is there a motion to accept the police report?
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Councilmember Blue? Is there a second?
This is Councilmember Mendoza. I'll second that.
Mendoza. Is there any discussion?
Just real quick, Chief. So is trunk or treat happening on Halloween?
Perhaps they are. I don't say the rec council. They are working on event Halloween. The trunk or treat has been discussed. I don't know if that's going to play out in the final plan or not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. The basic for the event will likely be that from the park, led by the police, from the mayor's park, we would drive up here, whoever wants to be in the driving parade, in that with our distant lines outside the building, as we do with the food, the families will be able to sit. We'll suggest people bring their blanket. They will be able to sit on the side of the building, and then someone will provide a story for Halloween. And then they'll be able to go to the trunks of the cars, supposedly the police cars, and pick up their goodies, get a picture in their goodie outfit, and in their Halloween outfit, and then go home. So right now, that's the general thought process in what would be done on Halloween. But I digress. I'll call for a vote. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2. Ward 3.
I
We're
think
mute.
it's up.
For?
Aye.
All right, Mayor votes aye. Thank you so much, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Next item up is for the approval of minutes. Let me go with what, so we have minutes from, that we tabled, on the 22nd for June 9th, July 14th, public hearing, and a July 14th meeting. And, we can, do them one at a time. Well, I think we have to do them one at a time because I do have some, suggested changes on each one. So is there a motion for us to accept the minutes for June 9th?
I'll make that motion and state it.
Okay, is there a second?
Councilmember Mendoza, I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? So I have a couple of points. If you go in the, towards the last last third paragraph of, June 9th, motion of Councilmember Jackson and second Councilmember, Mendoza to approve the May 12th CYTR hearing. I can't remember, but I don't know what CYTR is. Does anybody know what it is? CYTR hearing.
I don't know.
I guess it's supposed to be public.
I don't know. And I can't do this without knowing what that means. I'm sure it's something legitimate, but I would suggest nobody votes on it without us knowing what that means. So you could, somebody could rescind their first or the second motion, or I can call for a vote.
That,
Send it.
yes, Councilmember Booth has done it.
Is there, so there's a vote to table this a second time? Is there a motion to table this a second time?
This is Councilmember Mendoza. I'll make that motion to table it for the second time.
Okay, so I'll put comments on the table before we actually have to see it again. I'm noticing that there is a pattern of council member sometimes being capitalized, other times not being capitalized. I also want to state that where another report is referenced, the minutes or the information about that report should be attached to the minutes when they're filed and referenced that attachment is there. So in this particular case, the report on the work session, it should say see minutes for details of the work session. For the treasurer's report, it should always say see the treasurer's report. And in this particular one, it says see list of, we had new business, 8 can't wait. And it should say in reference the list of what is 8 can't wait, so that we have an opportunity. Those are my general statements for any time and any minute. And so hopefully when we see these again, they will actually have that, those changes are actually made as well. And so we have July 14th, 2020 minutes. Is there a motion to approve the 2020 minutes? I mean, July 14th minutes?
This is Councilmember Jackson. I'll make that motion to July 14th minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion and state it.
Okay, so discussion? Okay, again, I would put on the record that in the case the treasurer's report, there should be a reference to say that the treasurer's report is attached. Also, the police report is attached. But as a comment that's significant on the new business, Black Lives Matter resolution, it states, was discussed briefly. Mayor Barrow asked that this be introduced as an ordinance or resolution. I asked that it be introduced as a ordinance and not a resolution. So the word "not" is a significant difference, change. And I would ask if the maker of the motion would accept the motion with that specific word being changed.
I will accept that motion stated. This is Councilmember Jackson.
Okay, and is there and will the second accept that motion?
And that, Councilmember Blue, I accept that. Thank you.
Okay, so that is the motion to set the approved report with the change of that word. And I will call for the vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, Mayor votes aye. Thank you guys for that. And the last one that we have here is the public hearing on the sound ordinance on July 14, 2020. Is there a motion to accept? Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
Yes, I'll make that. Councilmember Jackson.
Okay, and there's a second.
I'll second it, Councilmember Bowden.
Okay, in discussion? Okay, I have one significant item that has to be corrected in order for these minutes to be correct, and that is, this is a hearing. On their overview, it says, Mayor noted that the ordinance was introduced on, and then there's XX, and it was available for residents for review. Mayor approved it up for public comment. So there's two things there. XX is really significant. When an ordinance is introduced, it really needs to be stated there as to what that date is. I don't know what it was off the top of my head, but I know there's evidence somewhere, and that I would ask that the maker of the motion accept that there should be a change, that date should be included in this record. And also, the mayor didn't approve it up for public comment. The mayor opened it up for public comment. And I would ask if the maker of the motion would also approve with that change as well.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes with those changes as stated.
Okay. And will the second of the motion also accept those changes?
Yeah, I
Okay, thank you. And any other comments? I'll call for a vote. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2. Ward 3.
Aye.
And Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, so we have completed that.
Council, just to go back on those town minutes that we tabled for the June 9th, 2020. I looked at it's the constant yield tax rate hearing minutes that we did in May. So that's that CYTR.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I would ask if, with that information at hand, if you would also be willing to go back from the tabling and actually make a motion to approve these minutes.
And I make that motion as stated, Mayor.
Okay, is there a second?
This is Councilmember Mendoza. I'll second that.
Okay. And discussion? Okay, so the items I had on this report again related to saying C report where another report was referred to. More significantly, that those letters be changed into the actual words, constant real tax rate. And also, as it relates to the mayor's report, and the mayor reported that we were number 5 on the census in the county, and it states number 9 in the state, where we were in fact number 29 in the state. So I don't want something in the minutes that says I gave out false information. And so if we can make those changes, I would like to ask if the maker of the motion would be willing to accept those changes to the document for its approval.
Yes.
Okay, and the second,
Yes.
I'm sorry, who was first and second?
I'm second. Melinda's first.
Oh, Melinda, okay. And you did say yes, Councilmember Mendoza?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3, Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, and thank you very much, Councilmember Mendoza, for going back and pulling that information for our record. Appreciate that. Okay, the next item on the agenda is unfinished business, which is the sound ordinance. We have, sound ordinance has been introduced and also a public hearing was held, as we just approved minutes to. And it's time for a vote to be taken on the minutes. And I would ask for, just in case there's any discrepancies from what we have on a public record, is there a motion to accept the ordinance for with any correction of errors noted?
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may speak, the copy of CB4 that is in your packet for tonight's meeting is an older version of the present ordinance that we are considering adopting. I emailed a copy of it to you and to Chief Stone this evening when I noticed it. The correct copy had numerous corrections and changes in it, and they should be adopted. This ordinance, which was sent to you, regretfully, in your packet, is not the correct ordinance.
I would, okay, because I'm just looking at it now, and it's good to hear that because I see the decibels still in here and something about the ANSI, and that has been taken out, right?
All of it is out.
Okay, I can't open up what you sent. It's in a WPD format, and I can't open it. If you can send it in another format.
I beg your pardon. I thought it was in the Word format. I will do that immediately.
Mayor, on the screen for us?
Yeah, when we get it, we can't open it. If we can't open it, he has to send us a different format. We're going to move on and see if we get back there, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, moving on. Our next item here. This is not for a vote. This is just to inform and request review of the consolidation of our parking permit ordinance. As you all know, this ordinance was created in 3 parts. First, creating the parking permit requirement. The second was adding trailers to the parking permit. And the third was providing limitations of residential parking in residential parking in residents parking in non-resident area limitations, as well as creating visitor pass requirements to allow for residents to get visitor passes. In that they were all in three different pieces. It was challenging for our police. In the beginning, we haven't had police in quite some time, so it didn't make a difference, but now that we do have police, and there was one significant error which related to the time of the day. That was approved, and by the way, has been verified on tape that the limitation on time for a parking permit is from 5 p.m. till 10 a.m., 5 p.m. in the evening till 10 a.m. in the morning. And that was an error, which has now been corrected. So this document only reflects what we've already approved. And therefore, we don't have to vote because we've already voted on it. But what we do need is your signatures and your review and signatures so that you can validate that it is what you recall it to be, and then we can re-sign it. And I just want a general agreement. Is there any objection for that to be reviewed for for secondary signature? Any objection?
No. None.
Okay, hearing none, I would just ask Mr. Barr, can you add the signatures to signature lines to this, please?
Certainly. You want me to resend it?
Yes, because I want to print it out so the council members can come up here as they're able to do signing.
No problem whatsoever, Mayor, but everybody has to understand that what was previously adopted remains a valid ordinance. And the amendments and changes that we made at a number of times are not this particular ordinance, not this particular paper that we have. We can make it an amended and restated ordinance if you want, but I think this is the best way and the best option we have.
Well, I mean, I would just state that it should be fully inclusive of what we've agreed to before. But it was, I'm sorry?
I believe it is.
Okay, so that was what we're going for, is that it's completely inclusive of all the amendments and all of the things that we've already approved, as of course, with a correction in an error in the time, which again, we have validated on tape that the time that we said was 5 p.m. to 10 a.m. and it should have been recorded that way, and that was an error, and that will be corrected in this final draft here. So I look forward to it with the signature page, so I can leave it out for the council members to come up and sign. All right, Mr. Barr? Okay, let me know if you get that.
I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Okay, let me know if you got that sound ordinance.
I sent it to you.
Okay, let me check and see.
I also sent a copy to Chief Stone.
Okay, Chief Stone, can you pull it up and share your screen?
I will try. I'm a new sharer, so if something else pops up, we'll see what happens. But let me give it a try.
Okay. Okay, while he's doing that, Mr. Barr, can you tell us the status of the water line agreement? I know there were matters that concerned you that you wanted to see if you can be resolved. Have you been able to get there?
Mr. Baden and I last month talked to the individuals at the company, and they do not want to insure the mayor and council. I asked Legit if they would insure the mayor and council. And by the term mayor and council, I mean all of the members of the town government, just not, the elected individuals and the employees as well. And Legit said they would, less the deductible. I also called over to MML, spoke to Scott Hancock. Scott Hancock said that they don't have a financial relationship with this company. It is merely a corporate sponsor of MML. And there are quite a number of those companies. They don't pay per customer. They make a donation to MML and thereby become corporate sponsors. With that, all that said, if the mayor and council wish to go ahead with this project, they need to go ahead with the understanding that no insurance is provided if the mayor and council or any employee of the town gets sued because of the actions of this particular warranty company. There is insurance from another source which covers the mayor and council, and therefore, while the warranty company didn't cover you, your own coverage covers you. So I don't have any further objections at this time.
Okay, so the main point was, our concern was in the case of an issue or problem that we would be insured. And just to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that Legit said that we would bond, we would after our deductible. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So council members, do you want to move forward with this agreement? It's, it's one that, as Mr. Baden said, he's with his other towns. And this is where, when the company gets funding, we also get some too. And we've been through it for quite a while now. So is there a motion to accept this agreement? Borderline?
Yes, Councilmember Blue, I make that motion as stated, Mayor.
Okay. Is there a second?
This is Councilmember Mendoza. I'll second that.
And any discussion?
Yes, this is Councilmember Jackson. So when we first received this water agreement, it was brought to our attention if it was something that MML sponsored. And now, Mr. Barr, and he said not sponsored, but it was something they recommend. But listen to Mr. Barr saying that he spoke to Scott Hancock that they are just sponsored to MML.
So what I take from it, just to be honest, because I saw the note that came from Scott Hancock saying that the National League of Cities was recommending this company for municipalities. And as a member of the National League of Cities, they were following through. So that's kind of the way it was written. What I just heard Mr. Barr say was that Scott Hancock said that they don't have a financial relationship with that company. I would see it this way, that if you're a sponsor for something, you ask for something in return for your sponsorship. And I imagine that what they asked for was the letter from Scott Hancock to come out to us. So he was fulfilling, in my mind, he's fulfilling his sponsorship. Right, because that's what happens. You take somebody's money and you promote them.
Right.
Right. And that's what he was doing, was promoting them. So I think we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Councilmember Jackson?
Yeah, still uncomfortable with it. I'll wait for my vote.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
I sustain.
okay, Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, and Mayor votes aye. So that is 4-1-0. Okay, going back to the sound ordinance, now, it's like since we had a public hearing on what was introduced, and there was a significant number of changes here, Mr. Barr, do you want to go ahead and go over what these changes are so that the audience, residents have an opportunity to know what's changed since they had their public hearing?
The big difference between this ordinance and the one that was originally introduced is that the original introduction contained within it measurements taken by a sound meter and the references to that and to the standard decibels, which is contained in these ordinances across the country. It was my understanding, Mayor and Town Council did not want to go with that empirical set of numbers, but instead wish to use a more common sense approach. And while there is an awful lot of changes in the ordinance, when you look at it, strikeouts and other changes, most of it concerns that particular situation. In other words, we're going to go from an empirical standard to someone listening at the property line or some distance from the property line. It's more of a, how do I say the property? More of a friendly ordinance than it is anything else. It is a visitor-friendly ordinance, one that's easily understood, and hopefully one that can be easily enforced. Anybody has any questions?
Something on the street.
I think different.
Oh, yeah, I don't understand that. Oh, I gave it to him.
Okay. You want to give it a little bit of a roll up, Chief? I mean, I have my own copy, so I was able to go and roll through it. I don't know if the council members would like to see a little bit more.
Yes.
Chief?
Is it? Oh, it's not moving on your screen. It's moving on mine. Let me see if I
Not
can figure
moving
out.
here.
I'm in pause. Okay. That's okay. Resume.
Need to get it. All right, got it.
All right. Let me
Okay,
go.
now.
Well, I scrolled through half of it, but it is. Let's try that again. Okay. But it's 8 pages long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We trying to keep it right.
So do you guys want to do this this way? I don't know. The summertime's almost over. I don't know what's much of a difference as long as we get it done. You want to wait till next month?
This is Councilmember Jackson. I understand because this particular document wasn't in our package. So what was sent out to the public, I think, was the one that we have questions on. My concern with the ordinance, one, just want to thank the residents that was a part in it to helping come up with. Thank the mayor. It was well overdue. We haven't had a noise in a long time. Um, Happy to see that the lawnmower is grass cut 8 o'clock. I know that was some of the concerns with the residents, and also the time of the loud music. Um, or being all fair, we may have to wait until the next meeting. So that's just my opinion. Unless then we can and come back to it at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like, because we have talked about this a lot and had a good amount of changes to come through. I am not comfortable voting without a thorough read.
Exactly. And also,
Great.
we have had, you know how, time you and Dan, we make changes on the budget, he puts like a sheet of it so we can see what it was, what we changed it
And then
to.
what it is.
That way it will be easy for our residents to understand it, and also the council. Also, with this ordinance, I think I brought up before, once we pass this, and we can have like a quick and dirty, I don't know if that's the right word, but like a door handle, just with the
Mhm.
basic things, I know, just with the basic information that people need to know, because everybody's not gonna go look on the website and pull an ordinance out, or or come up to the town hall for it. We have our individual that will follow it, or we can have something so that they can have it that's sent to them in English and also in Spanish. So when um, these ordinance, they know they have been notified.
I agree with that. Yeah. And it's a project I'm hoping to even work on. Jackie Goodall is supposed to be coming back and working with us again. And
Yeah.
that's something I think that, yes. And I think that's something that she might be happy to work on, is summarizing some of these and getting some translations, because we do not have any of these ordinances in Spanish, quite frankly. We just don't. So that's a very good point that, you know, you can't follow things they can't read.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I think the council and you have reached a good decision on this point. I am uncomfortable with this being adopted without it being before you in hard copy.
Here.
Okay. And so right now, council members, I am forwarding this to you guys. Chief Stone, I'm okay, because it shows from the introduction, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Barr, but from the introduction, what has changed, and it's a lot. So if a resident wants to look at this, they can see, okay, this is what it was before. The strikeouts show what's been stricken out, and the capital letters are showing what new has been added in its stead. Correct.
Correct. There's a key at the
Okay.
bottom of each page.
Okay, and so Chief Stone, if you could put it back out. So also, what's good in waiting is that we also get our residents the ability to see what we've changed. A lot of the changes came from the comments that we received from the residents, and try to respect that. So I think that we've put a lot of effort into trying to get this done suitably. And so I'm sending it to the council right now. And then you guys review, you're seeing that it's got what we agreed to. And then we'll bring it back for November's meeting. Okay. Any objections to that?
None.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. With no objections, we'll move forward to the next line item. Next line item. Thank you, Mr. Barr. And thank you for catching the different one. And did you copy Kayla and Dan to make sure that they have the most
Yes.
recent one as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the only thing I wanted to talk about, which I already has on the crosswalks, are that the crosswalks have been removed. They were removed by the church, and they were removed based on the fact that they were not in the detailed site plan and should have never gone in the certified plan. And parking planning as well as permits were able to let them know it wasn't necessary. Unfortunately, we do have a cut curb that, I guess will remain cut for a while. But at least the strikes are gone and we have a neighbor that's happy about that. We have neighbors that are happy about that. Moving on to new business, the Harvest Fest is what I actually already explained to you guys, and I was just letting you know what was the status of it. Rec Council met yesterday, and they're filling out the details of what they want to do. The next item I think does require an action. We've talked about it, but we took a vote on it because we have voted to approve trick or treating. As you've heard from the chief, who's discouraging it, it's also been discouraged by the county executive as well. And I think it's a good idea. We will give our kids, as we always do, something to help them through it. But I would like to see if we can get a motion showing our intent specifically so that our police have something to operate with if they need to move people along, if they're trick-or-treating. And if we vote, then we have a line vote for that case. So is there a motion for us to cancel trick-or-treating in Colmar Manor for 2020 only?
This is Councilmember Jackson. I'll make that motion to cancel trick or treating in the town of Colmar Manor for the year.
Okay, is there a second?
Councilmember Blue, I second that.
Any discussion?
Oh, yes, I'll make it's just keeping the kids
Safety
safe,
reasons.
safety reasons, and hoping to do trick or treating next year. It's not too long.
Absolutely, and I'm in full agreement with that. This is all about safety, keeping our kids safe and also their families as well. So I thank y'all for that. And I'll take a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Okay, mayor votes aye. All right, moving along. Again, I think that I mostly spoke about this in my mayor's report. And I just wanted it very specifically on the record as a line item in the agenda, that Pepco came into our town, and started installing poles without notifying us of what it was that they were doing, where they would be in town and for how long they would be there. And I am on the record, continuing to pursue how something like that will happen. We still don't know when they're coming back to take out the double poles. And I happen to have 2 set of double poles in front of my house right now, which is significantly tacky looking. But I want it on record, and I want my residents to know that I, as they feel, do not feel like it was a respectable thing for Petco to do without discussing their plans ahead of time. We're not going to stop them from doing what they need to do. It's just respectful to let people know that you're going to come and do it, and when you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and if people's electricity are going to have to be cut off for a short period of time. So I just wanted a line item here for it's on the record that we're going to continue to pursue it until we have some answers. I am going to let the chief now put out a little bit of information about the U.S. election so that residents know what it is that they need to do to get out to vote.
All right, Mayor. First, we'll talk about the presidential election, which is scheduled for Tuesday, November 3rd. We keep calling it the presidential election, and that it is, but there's also some other items on the ballot, some questions and judges' elections and things like that. So those are also other important things. election. The last day to register is today. And if you haven't done it mail or you haven't been to the election office, you're short. But you can register online until midnight. And the website for that is elections.maryland.gov. They have a very comprehensive website that covers everything you ever wanted to know about an election is there, including registering by midnight. And with this election, there's so many opportunities to vote. Other than them coming to your house and picking up the ballot, you can vote by mail, you can vote in person, you can vote early. If you choose to vote by mail, the deadline to request the ballot is October 20th. Several weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, all the active registered voters received an application to vote by mail, and that is only an application to vote by mail, and that has to be returned by the 20th. If you haven't opened that yet, that's not the ballots in there. So if you come the day of the election and you want to open it and go vote, you're going to be short. You have to mail that in and get the ballot by mail. Ballots must be received and postmarked by 8 p.m. November 3rd. There's a number of ways of getting if you don't vote in person, you can get your mail-in ballots delivered a number of different ways. You can mail them in, you can drop them at a number of drop boxes around the county. It can be taken to an early election center or can be taken to an election center on the day of the election. Drop boxes are established throughout the county. The closest to Colmar Manor is located at Bladensburg High School. I went up there today. It's there. And from what I understand, they have security there 24 hours a day. And there was security there when I was there too. There's two ways to vote in person. They have early voting centers, which are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. October 26th through November 2nd, the day before the election. There are 11 throughout the county. The closest two to Colmar Manor are the Sports and Learning Center in Landover and the Kentland Community Center in Landover. On election day, there are a number of polling places open throughout the county from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Closest to Colmar Manor is Bladensburg High School. Colmar Manor is usually a polling place for the presidential election. It is not a polling place for November 3rd. And that's all I have for that. Any questions? Or I guess what the key thing out of that, we mentioned earlier, a website to go to. It's elections.maryland.gov. Everything you need to know is there.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you so much for Chief for that, because it really is a lot. I mean, they I think try to give a lot of people a lot of different opportunities, and so it can be very confusing to a lot of people. But I will say this: on Saturday when we were up in Landover for the mayor's event, cars were just rolling in there like crazy. I mean, they were just coming through, just nonstop coming through. People just drop out, roll down their window, or just roll by and then drop it in and keep on going. So it was very a quick thing for people to do. I think the most confusing thing that we need to overemphasize is that during the primaries, we were sent our ballots without asking for them. And this time we have to ask in order to get our ballot. And that's something that we need to really overstress. But Chief, I want to ask you, I've been hearing on the radio that they're doing same day registration on election day.
Not sure. I've heard of that in Virginia. I don't know that it's in Maryland. Going to that website today, it said that today was the last day to register, and you could do it to midnight on the website. But in person is done at 5 p.m. today. That's what they had on their website, but I don't know about the.
All right. Well, I want to look into that because I'm really sure on the radio they're saying, and I'm pretty sure it was Maryland, that they would have. I mean, they definitely say that today is the last day to register, but then they say the same day registration. to like, you know, like,
Into that.
Mayor and Chief, also, I think we should tell the residents if they choose to receive mail-in ballot, and then they get their mail-in ballot to send in, but then it gets close to the date and they may decide, no, I'm just going to go in and catch my vote in person. That's going to be challenging. They'll be able to do it, but they're going to have to key them out the system, we put them back in. And I'm quite sure there's going to be more information on that on the website. They were talking about that at the news today. Some people will get the ballot, the mail-in, they request for a mail-in ballot, but decide they're going to go up there and do it in person. So
Yeah, they can drop off the mail-in ballot in person, but if you choose not to do the mail-in ballot and then do the electronic thing, that, from what you said, will cause
a delay in their vote. Yeah.
yes.
Cause a delay because they
I
have
think
to
they
come
get a
back.
provisional ballot, which is counted later. So it's, I'd
Right.
say,
well, I had a conversation with Senator Augustine about, you know, those circumstances. One of the things he told me in Maryland is counting ballots as they are received. So there's some states that won't start counting ballots until the day of the election, but Maryland is counting them as received. So if you turned in a ballot in a mail, or you turned in a ballot in one of the ballot boxes, your name is coming off of the list. And so when you go in, if you go in person to vote, your name won't be on the list to vote because it will say you're already voted. So he assured me that that's how this is operating. Now, if somehow you voted on November the 2nd and you voted by mail on November the 2nd, and Maryland is a postmark state. So some states say they have to receive it by the 3rd. In Maryland, you have to have it postmarked by the 3rd. So if you put it in the mail and it's postmarked on the 2nd or the 3rd, but then you come in and you vote directly, when you vote in person, they're marking you off the list. So when your ballot comes through and they go to look, your ballot will be lost because you voted in person already. So I feel comfortable after talking to him that they sort of kind of got it down to make sure that, you know, your name comes off the list. First time you vote, the first time they receive it, that's it. And you can't vote again. So sounds like they've had lengthy conversations about making sure that this work. And I felt comfortable because those were questions I had for him specifically about this. So it's a good point to make, Councilmember Jackson, to bring up, because I know people think about it. My biggest concern in terms of the voting by ballot by absentee ballot is my signature. I don't know what my signature looks like. My signature looks different on everything that I sign. So I'm concerned about my ballot being thrown out because my signature doesn't match from when I made I guess they match it to your absentee request. Do you know, Chief? Is that what they're matching it to?
I believe so. I've heard on the news that they suggest that you sign it similar to that of your driver's license. I don't know if that's, many people register
Yeah, I heard the driver's
to vote through the MVA, so that would make sense that way. But I'm not sure.
Is that what you think they're comparing it to your driver's license signature?
I would assume if you many people register to vote at the MVA, so that signature would be similar. I don't know what they're actually comparing it to.
You know, that would be an interesting thing to find out. I'm gonna put that question mark. What are they comparing it to? Are they comparing it to your driver's license, your registration to vote? I registered to vote 40 years ago?
Right. Yeah. So that it flattens out over the years.
Yeah, or they comparing it to your request for an absentee ballot. What do we do here, Chief, in terms of absentee ballots? For
Colmar Manor,
Colmar Manor.
for our election, or is that what you?
Well, what did we do for absentee vote? Well, did absentee voting come here for the general elections? Or did they go someplace else for absentee?
Oh, they was all handled elsewhere for the general. We provide the space and don't get involved in that process at all.
Well, I think it's an open question people need to know because I have been recommending, I thought that they were going to be comparing it to your request for a ballot. And I was suggesting to people take a picture of their signature when they request a ballot so that they can make it look the same way when they actually sign the ballot. But it can kind of be a really important thing to
I'll reach out
if they're preparing it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
and on
And,
a registration clarification from their website. I mentioned that today is the deadline. It does say on here that today is the deadline. However, it also, I guess that's the deadline by registering by mail or online, but it say that you can register in person on, where did I get this? Read it. You can also register and vote during early voting and election day. So in person during early voting and on election day, you can register and vote. Good point.
Wow.
okay.
The same day?
Same day.
Wow.
Oh, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, especially I just missed today.
Mhm.
I guess they will just be consolidating it from here. But won't that probably be a provisional ballot?
That's what I'm thinking, that they'll put it off to the side and it'll vote, but I mean it'll count, but probably not immediately.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting because I mean, and I think I know a case when that happened. My daughter had switched her state to Pennsylvania when she was at Penn State, and then when she came back, she forgot to switch back, and then so they let her do a provisional ballot, or she did switch back. It wasn't in this time frame or whatever, or they hadn't shown it on the record. They let her do a provisional ballot. But we never know when it went through, if it went through or not. But interesting. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chief, for all of that information. And I like in the summary way that you put it, because you're right. It's everything out there on that website, but people really just need it in a nutshell sometimes, to just, okay, this is what that is. And if we could just maybe put that on our Facebook page and even our town page. Is our TV back up yet?
No.
Okay. All right. Since I'm on that subject, do you have an idea when our TV might be back up?
Waiting on Comcast. It might be one where we need to contact our liaison with Comcast because that seems to be in a perpetual delay.
Wow. So we might need to, we have a liaison with Comcast too, don't we? A municipal liaison?
Yes, I know who it used to be. I don't know who it is now, but yep.
I think we need to go in that direction. That's the only way to get people moving. But is that hindering Verizon from coming back up?
No, we could do Verizon or the Verizon, the FiOS. We could do that.
Oh, we can bring that channel back, the Verizon channels back up?
Yes.
Okay, well, then tell our residents what channel that is.
That's a test question there. I think 19. I don't have to look that one up. I know Comcast is 71. I think on Verizon we're 19, but I'm not. I have to look it up.
Well, I know there's a lot of people who completely look forward to seeing our meetings on the television, and they don't have the YouTube to go to and see it. And this is taking a long time to get it back where it needs to be. So whatever pressure, if I can add any help, please let me know.
Okay.
In what way, so that we can move forward with that. But again, thank you about that. And if we could get just a summary of the election stuff, even though I know the county is sending stuff out, the state's sending stuff out, if we just get a couple, bullet points, like on our Facebook page, that people would be interested in seeing and how to do this. Excuse me, especially about that you can vote on day, since the last day for online voting is today. All right, Chief, so I'm going to move you on into what's going on with the town election and where.
Town election, yes, we were scheduled to have a town election in May. The town has a mayor and 4 council members, 4 wards, one council member for each ward, and in May was the election for all 4 council members. However, due to the the virus that was postponed, we rescheduled it for December 8th here at Town Hall. All 4 wards are up for election. Talking about to be a candidate, you must be 21 years of age, have been a resident of Colmar Manor for a year, and live in the ward for which you desire to be a candidate. You also must be a registered voter. Petitions to be a candidate are here at Town Hall. You have to be signed by 10 registered voters endorsing you as a candidate. A key date in this is November 9th. November 9th is the final date to register, and also the final date to submit the petition to be a candidate. Unlike the presidential election, you can't register to vote on the same day and all that. So November 9th is the deadline. Polls are open on December 8th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee or mail-in ballot voting is allowed, and we're going to be sending a mailer out hopefully this week, which will include an absentee ballot, and all of these instructions that I'm talking about tonight will be included with that. In our case, absentee ballots have to be received by the close of the polls on December 8th at 8 p.m. So not postmarked by, they have to be here at Town Hall to be counted. And that's the information in a nutshell for the town election. I do have a request for the council to approve election judges, unless someone has some questions with that information.
Okay, is there any questions in relationship to the process for the election?
Yes, this is for the chat. Questions coming back. But my question is, this election is new to all of us. We're dealing with the COVID. So I was wondering if one thing the residents that's running probably will be able to walk and knock on doors and do the things that we were able to do to get involved or the community to their vote. So as we get in the complete 10 pages, is there any way that if they are to provide a bio so we can have the information put up, we can know exactly who's running, or after November 9th, once we get all the candidates in, maybe Mayor, you can have a virtual introduction of the candidate, and if residents have questions to ask them, they can do a virtual, because it's a little different than it has been in the past.
Yes, we can do that.
So I think there's a couple of things that we can do. I mean, I agree. I mean, it'd be a little bit challenging wanting to walk up on some people's doors and knocking on them. We can email, using our email, which we have pretty much agreed that we will not share with anybody. We can email our townspeople asking if they would like their emails shared with the candidates so the candidates can communicate with them. That's one thing we can do. And so people could respond affirmatively, yes. And if no response or no, we don't share it. And that gives the people a choice if they want to hear from the candidates. That's one. I like the virtual idea. It's basically we can do a virtual meet and greet the candidates. And coordinated by us, and let the residents know. And so not to spend too many people's time, we can just do it by ward, and each ward can whoever's running can go ahead and speak to people who may show up on their board. So that's another thing that we can do. And then the bios are fine. Most places do bios and put them up on the website so that people have the ability to go and see them. So I would definitely, we can recommend that. And Chief, since we haven't sent the letters out, well, we could put that in the package for the signatures, that when they submit, if they submit a bio, that we will put the bio up on our website. And so if somebody comes and get a package, they know when you bring your package back, you bring a bio and we'll put it on the website. So I'm doing all three of those things. I mean, unless somebody has an objection from us doing any of those. There was a recommendation from Councilmember Jackson about the virtual. Anybody else has any thoughts? Any objections? All right, I don't hear any objections, so we'll offer them those opportunities to see if they can get their word out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so the next item, which was added to the agenda now, is about our election judges. The current judges, Chief, when you emailed, okay, yeah, I see everybody's name on here. So everybody got an email with these on it, but you might not have got your email before because this was at 6 o'clock. You might not have gotten to your email before. So we have Mr. Cade, Charles Cade, 3900 block of Newton Street, to serve as the chief election judge. He has served as election judges for several town elections. We have Nadia Fleming on the 4200 block of Newark Road to serve as an election judge, and she has served as an election judge for the last 2 term elections. And we have Carol Hawkins of the 4200 block of Monroe Street to serve as an election judge, and Ms. Hawkins expressed interest in serving as an election judge in March prior to our postponement of the May election. And we need election judges to move our election forward. So is there a motion for us to approve and accept these persons to be election judges?
This is Councilmember Jackson. Motion is stated.
Okay, Jackson, is there a second?
Blue, seconds that motion is stated.
Any discussion?
No.
Chief, I just want to ask, is there any requirement, first of all, I mean, this is just kind of off the top of my head, but is there any requirement that an election judge actually has to be a registered voter?
I believe it is, and they all are registered voters and town residents.
Okay, all right.
I think they do have to be, I do believe they have to be registered as well.
Okay, that's the question. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2.
Aye.
Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, Mayor votes aye. All right, thank you very, very much, Chief, for all that you do. And so with that, we will move on to committee reports. And is there, the only report I can have for the seniors is just saying that we have continued to communicate, check in on the seniors periodically. If we are unable to get to the senior, and reach them for, a period of time, the police will check in and do a welfare check just to make sure that everything's okay. So we're keeping an eye on them and checking to see what their needs are. Anybody else have any reports for the seniors?
Mayor? Mayor,
Yes.
may I be excused?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Barr, you may.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Have a good
Barr.
everybody.
Okay, you too.
Councilmember Blue.
Yes, Councilmember Blue.
Frequently call some and wave at some and knock on some doors if I don't hear or see from them. And if there's one in Ward 1 that would like for me to go to the store or do anything for them, please feel free to call me. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for saying so. And I will say the bus is running,
Uh-huh.
and limited, I mean, with separators and so forth, keep everybody safe. And I don't know if you all know, but you can welcome Sheila Butler as a new driver for us. And I know nowadays it's hard to get to know what's moved around. Mr. Blue has retired, and I hope he's doing well. And
Wonderful.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Doing wonderful.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. It's really good to hear. And we're happy that we had him for as long as we did here and working here. All right. Well, I said that we were going on to the senior reports, and I started that commission reports, but I actually forgot the line item that I added on, which is something you guys don't have, and I will just read it to you. But this is from Spartan Plumbing, and this is related to our sump pumps. Our sump pumps have failed. One is a deadbeat right now, and one won't stop running. It won't let out enough at the end of a run so that it will stop. So it's not running sufficiently. So Spartan is to replace 2 pump pumps in the duplex pit, also replace 2 floats and emergency alarm float, rewire the pumps and floats into an existing control panel, pumps to be direct placement, same manufacturer and same pumps. These are Zoller sump pumps that run nonstop due to a spring. All piping to be replaced with scheduled 80 piping, including 2 new check valves, include plywood lid for pit. And it will take them 3 to 4 days to get the pumps. And so we're expecting significant rain on Friday, and we cannot be without the pumps here because, as you guys know, the breadth of the entire roof of this building comes into the building for the sump pumps to go out, and they back each other up, as y'all know, difficultly that, I think it was over $100,000 had to be spent to replace the floor when the pump went out just some years ago. And the difficult piece of this is that it's $8,975.
Wow.
8,000.
Yeah,
Damn.
Well, Mayor, how much it was?
$8,975.
Mm.
Got to be done.
For you.
Hmm.
It's just like
Coming for you.
is it something that we can't get or put a Band-Aid on, or I mean, that's something we have to take care of?
Yeah, because one is out, right?
Yeah,
That's
I think that the big flood storm, they were already old and beaten up, but that big flood storm just beat the crap out of them. They just couldn't keep going. I mean, we're lucky they didn't break bust right then and there, because
a
we just,
disaster.
yeah, it just would have been a disaster. No other way around it. It was just a huge disaster. I mean, I wish I knew this before because we could have, we might have been able to go on the list when they were collecting the records. I mean, I can check and see if they still have records collected because I definitely think we can blame that on the storm because they were working before. And it's since that storm that apparently they've been challenged. And, they were asking to collect all the costs from the storm so that they could submit it to FEMA. I don't know, that deadline might be passed, but I'll look into that in terms of us getting reimbursed, potentially reimbursed. Um, Just put it out there and see what happens. because a lot of people lost their sump pumps as a part of their losses. And sounds like we've lost ours, and I really think that that's probably the cause of them just really being gone. But at any rate, guys, there is no choice. Mike said that he's gonna do some kind of a hookup with a hose and a vacuum and something like that for Friday, in case this is not something that can be fixed by Friday, because we just don't even know, so we still have to try to, he's gonna do some rigging up something or other, or whatever, but I just wanna ask, can I get a motion to approve us paying, the $8,975 in order to replace the pumps?
Don't have a choice.
Move it from an account.
Yes, we will. I was gonna call for a second motion for that
What
move.
did you say, Mayor? I didn't hear.
Uh,
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh,
she said, don't we have to make a motion to move money from somewhere?
Item.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was gonna do it as a separate vote, just to make sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, well, maybe we should transfer the money first. So can I ask that we transfer $9,000 out of our, reserve account into, public work maintenance? Oh, no, it's not public work maintenance. I think we're gonna go into, building maintenance.
for something.
What is set pumps?
I said,
You can say that in your motion, that's fine.
I'll make
Okay.
that motion stated.
okay. This is Councilmember Jackson. I'll second.
Okay, so the transfer is Blue and Jackson. Okay, any discussion on the transfer of the money? Okay, so the money will be transferred to the building maintenance account. And then, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1. Oh, is there any discussion? Okay, Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Okay, so the mayor votes aye. And then, is there a motion to pay $8,975 to Spartan Plumbing, to bring us to some pumps and all repairs necessary?
Yes.
How many years? Oh,
Make that motion stated.
and I'll second it, Mayor.
Okay. Jackson and Blue. Okay, any discussion?
Yes,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Councilmember
Jackson?
make sure that we have warranty on this. Pump.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Right.
Yeah, if everybody, I can hear you, but I think there's somebody else with background noise.
Let me put my ear in.
I don't think it's you. A lot of people's lines
Okay,
are open.
can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
So, and make sure that we have proper warranty on the purchase that we're going to make for the sub pump. And my question is it put out some from it at the beginning when we first moved into the building?
No.
I can't answer the question, but I doubt it.
And
Yeah, because the sub pump.
will they do a checkup or once checkup on it? Could we include that? Maybe.
What condition is in from time to time?
And a maintenance check, like we have on the generator, on the elevator and the generator.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So that might be extra, but I'll put it out there, and then if they will do a maintenance check, I'm sure we can vote on it next month. But I'll work on the warranty.
Okay.
Now, are you of an objection of moving forward if we don't get a warranty?
No.
We
should have something.
I'm sure it's going to be something. I'm just want to make sure I'm asking for it on record.
No, if they don't give us a warranty, I don't
Okay.
want to move forward. Because what if something happens like next week or something? Um, we'll be stuck out of the $8,000. We'll have to go back into transferring the funds.
We wanted something over 90 days too. We just don't want 90 days.
I'm very Dan with the contract and stuff. He's going to make sure that I have a warranty on it. The town is taking care of
Okay,
it.
so this motion can be revised as such that the public works supervisor can look for another company if these things are not met. So is the maker of the motion willing to state that the payment to Spartan is dependent, or let's say, rather it's, okay, is the maker of the motion willing to change the motion to state, to not state Spartan, but to state that a plumbing company who has warranty, has an over 90-day warranty included with the package?
Right. And that might be $100 or $200, but yes, Mayor, as stated.
Councilmember Jackson, I was the maker, yes. And who was second? So we both say yes.
Okay, so the decision of this particular company is dependent on that. Just to let you guys know, we want in a situation where we're unable to move forward with some of these, we'll likely call an emergency meeting to resolve what we need to resolve. Or if this is more than $8,975, will the maker of the motion allow for an additional $500 if necessary to meet these specifications?
Yes, Mayor.
Got the second, is the maker?
I think that was Cynthia. Who was the second on that one? It wasn't.
No, Jackson was the maker and Blue was
No,
the second.
not on the funds. I was not. Not for the
Not
transfer.
on, right now, we're still in the middle of the sump pump. We'll have to go
Okay,
back
well,
to the funds.
okay, yes, I'll make that motion as stated. Jackson.
Okay, I already heard Blue's approval. Okay. So I will now, is there any discussion? Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2, Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
All right, mayor votes aye. All right, so now that we've added that $500, we need to move another $500 over into the building maintenance, and we can just do a new motion. So a new motion, additional $500 into building maintenance. Is there a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion as stated. Councilmember Jackson.
Okay. And is there a second?
Councilmember Blue, second it.
Okay. There, in discussion. Call for vote, Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 1, where are you?
You hear me? I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Is that an aye?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Okay, mayor votes aye. Okay. So, that concludes our regular meeting items. Do we have any garden club report? Is Doretha Epps on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Can you give us a report on what's going on in the garden club?
Yes, hello, Mayor and Council. Good evening to everyone. Chief, Mr. Barr, Mr. Baden, if you're all there. So Saturday we are putting up the shed in the West Garden. I'm asking if we could put something out to the town asking the children, the young adults, if they need community service hours, and to come out, maybe two, maybe I would say maybe 4 students, because we don't want that many out there to help weed the beds, because we did not use Very Addison this year because of the COVID-19, and I was thinking that maybe if we can use our youth in town on Saturday to do some weeding to put our beds to sleep for the winter months to come.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. See if they'll send out an email and see if there's get any response. I know
Yeah, we're
some
not.
people are wanting it. I mean, not unless y'all know in wards that you can just reach out directly where we don't have to put out
Right,
a
that's true too. I mean, if any council member has in people that they know, any youth that would like to get a couple of hours, or if we come out to work 2 hours, I'll give them 4 hours of community service hours, because it's going to be a lot of work, so I won't mind doing that.
Talking about
I'm sorry. Repeat that.
what time?
From 10 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to meet up at the West Garden, because that's where the shed going up. But I would like for them to start weeding and put the beds to sleep while we're putting up the shed.
Mhm.
And I'm also asking for everyone to come out to help out, like we did with the East Garden, put up the shed. It shouldn't take long. Hopefully, we'll do an hour, maybe 2 hours, to do the to put up the shed in the West Garden.
Okay.
whose baby we hearing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I didn't have it on mute.
She just talking up a storm. I mean, we had the 4 young people work for us this summer. We could reach out to them and see those ones specifically.
That would be great, to see if they need community service hours. Come out for a couple of hours
Okay.
to work.
All right. I'll have staff check with them tomorrow and see if they can do that.
Okay, and I'm asking all the garden members to come out and help put the shed up. Hopefully, if everybody's turn out, it shouldn't take that long to put up the shed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But that's about it. I don't have too much to report on. Just thanking all the members that has been coming out to maintain the Rosebud Garden and also the East Garden and the West Garden. We have been trying to maintain it this year. And I'll be going back to work next month, so it's trying to get everything done and be self-maintained, after that.
1 second. I'm almost done.
All right. Well, thank you.
Hello?
Yeah. Anybody have any questions?
No, just thank you. Thank you all the volunteers in the garden club. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I really love those little, I don't know
The
what we call them,
flags.
but
Flag.
artwork.
Yeah, the
Yes,
flags.
artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're working trying to do the beautification on the garden, trying to make it look better.
Yeah, it really looks
Yeah,
good. Looks good.
we be putting out a little extra in it, trying to make it look better and pieces presentable so people can come out.
No, because sometimes, I mean, I love gardens. Sometimes just sit in the space. It feels right to sit in a space where food is growing,
Yeah, and also
You're
I like
welcome.
to talk to Chief. Are you still there? Is he still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I also like for someone to start videotaping a lot of the things that we do, because I want to put together a video for the garden from I think the garden started in 2006. So I like Carter City. Carter City put one together that I really love, but I want Councilmember Jackson and Councilmember and Julianne Bethea to resident Julianne Bethea, not Councilmember, to come to be the front people, because they was there from the start. And I would like for them to be able, to do the history on it and talk about it. And then we started, doing some little clips here and there. Is that possible?
Yes, yes, we can do that.
Okay. All right, so I have to reach out to Miss Bethay, and so she can come out and you know talk to you, or you put stuff together for you all to meet up so y'all could talk about the garden. In the garden, actually, that would be nice. But that's
Yeah,
about
y'all should
it.
do like a little, yeah, that's nice. Y'all should do a video like the Bears did.
Yes, I love that video, and it gave
Also,
me
can you also share with the mayor and council?
I'm sorry, repeat that. What you who said
Rita, can you
something?
council, Vivian, Councilmember Jackson, can you share with the mayor and council, to our city golf?
Oh yeah, so we want to donate $100 to the Carter City. They trying to put together um it's a water what you call it? I can't think of the name of it. They working on donations. They reaching out to different towns and stuff because they trying to put irrigation together for their water, for their plots and stuff.
Town donating to the club board.
It's coming out of the garden club budget.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but and I know it's coming out of Garden Club budget, but then if we're gonna make a donation,
So
You did.
you saying now that you said the town's gonna make the donation?
no, I'm just asking, I don't want to be a government making a donation if their own government is not making a donation.
Oh, I got you. I see. I'm not sure what their government is doing, but I know they are reaching out, and I know they reached
Yeah.
out to the CDC.
Email out to residents too. Their goal is to raise $2,000.
Yeah.
And we just wanted because we do a lot of things together with each garden, and we got ideas from them, they got ideas from us, and we wanted to support them and hoping when we do something in the near future, support us.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you guys are maker of motions, so if that's be it, let me know.
Okay, well, I'll double check and find out if their town is also donating calls for just the residents, because they also, their garden club is just like we're looking forward to move forward to. So let me check with that, and I'll give you all an update at our next meeting.
Sounds good to me.
The
Okay.
CDC is donating
Thank you.
$100 also?
Huh?
I'm not sure how much the CDC is donating, or if they donate. I'm not sure. I'm just saying right now they was reaching out to everyone. You know what I do? I send you the email that Diane sent out to to the CDC.
I have it also.
You have it, Councilman Jackson?
Yes, it was sent to me also. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, send it out to us so that we know what, what you're saying, so that all of us can see it.
I will. And I also sent a letter out to Mr. Luss. I'm not sure if you guys reached out to him already about the dumping in our Rosebud Garden. He was surprised and shocked about it. I do know that. And he wanted pictures of the Rosebud Garden, and I sent him some pictures. He was impressed with that. But he was kind of really disappointed. He didn't understand. He said he was confused because he didn't know why that the individual was dumping. And Mike couldn't think of the guy's name that he talked to. So, yeah.
So I guess what I heard happened was they dumped in the shopping center, couch, whatever. But then whoever was responsible for cleaning up the shopping center dumped it in our flower bed.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know the full story. I just know they was
Yes.
dumping. And I sent an email to him about it. So if you need, you could always reach out to him too, man, and talk to him more about it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I
Because
appreciate it.
I didn't know until, because I seen the picture when y'all sent me the picture, but then I didn't know until like last week later, I said something to Mike about it, and that's when he told me that that's kind of the way it went down, that it was dumped in the shopping center first. So
Okay.
it didn't need to get dumped over on our shopping bag, on our
Right.
flower
I
bed.
mean, he was disappointed and shocked at the same time that the individual would do that.
Thank you so much. And I just can't tell you, I've been looking at, since we've been working on getting our permeable pavers, I've had to do a lot of aerial looking that location with the triangle. And when I'm seeing it the way it looked before to how it looks now,
Yeah.
oh my God, you can appreciate it so much when you see what it looked like before
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
face again. It looks wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I'd love if we can find a couple of other spots that we can just really beautify like that, maybe around the basketball court or something. I know it got the nice trees there, but I don't know, something, it cheers you up. So thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Any more questions?
No.
Comments? All
Okay.
right.
I look
Thank
forward to seeing
you.
everybody on Saturday.
Okay, you too.
10 to 2, 10 to
Uh,
12. Okay.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, green team, anything going on?
Nothing is going on there. My goal was to try to get a meeting set up. It was a Zoom meeting, but that didn't happen. I do know that all the green team members do still get information for sustainable Maryland. So there are web classes that are available for us to attend. A lot of them are during the day, but we haven't met, and hopefully before I leave, touch base with them. I know we're going to need a leader to keep up with the green team.
Okay, so what I do know, and I actually attended, I didn't, forgot about it, didn't mention in my mayor's report, but I actually attended that meeting that Mr., what's his name, Hawkins, you know what I'm talking about. The guy in
Mike,
charge of system,
yes.
yeah, Mike
Hucklebuck, yes, yes.
Hucklebuck. So I attended that virtual meeting that he had,
Yes.
which was interesting. I think it was more or less an opportunity for folks from the different towns to just talk about what they've been doing and what challenges they had and trying to keep up with what they're doing. But he also, and I don't know, did you see, he sent an email saying that there's some people that he has, I think they might be University of Maryland students who could help with some things. Did you see that email?
Yes. Yes, I did.
So it would be great. I mean, even if you individually could reach out to some of the members to find out if there's any suggestions they have for something that we could use the.
Well,
So, no.
I think in town, one of the biggest problems, and that we have is still going on with recycling. Trying to get people not putting plastic in their containers. Also, I think it's important. I know it's important for our green team to get back together because of some of the properties was damaged by the flood. And I know some of our residents that had so many beautiful flowers and different things around their property. They got just as much rain as like I did myself, but they didn't get any damage in their homes. So I'm hoping to put together a meeting so we can basically talk about it. Who was affected by the flood? What did they do about it? How can we? I know we can't prevent it, but what can we do to in our own property as far as to retain some of the work? Maybe a rain garden, maybe put more rocks or different things around the property.
I was asked by a citizen, Councilmember Blue Mayor, if the town had sandbags.
Well, we don't. Um, I mean, I think we tend to operate in the circumstance in front of us. So, like when the winter comes, we go and we get sand for snow. And we've just never ever been faced with something like this before. So I don't know if it's something that we should follow up with in terms of having sandbags or something like that. But I do think what Councilmember, and the answer is no, we don't have sandbags. So at this time, but Councilmember, things that we learned with stormwater management, and there's certain things that we can do with our properties in order to limit the damage based on what you know. So through this flood right now, everybody should kind of know where did their major puddles settle, you know, because you can sand that area and you can put in and find different kinds of more heavily absorbent dirt. You know, and maybe what we can ask these people to do is to educate, you know, maybe they could review the properties that took the heaviest damage and from a sustainability point, make some recommendations on how the property can survive that stuff a little bit better.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a
well,
good
anyway, you put
idea.
out some good ideas. So I will throw those ideas back at him and see what he thinks. You can talk to Green Team people and let me know if there's something else
Okay.
anybody else wants to do or is interested. I just don't want to wait
Will
too much
do.
longer to respond to him because I don't know how long he's going to have something available out there. All right. On recreation report, well, I can give you recreation report right now. It's a Hollow Fest, and we're working on the event
Halloween
for the
parade.
31st, right? And we're going to send out a personal invitation to former Mayor Fennell, former Mayor Bethay, and former Mayor Hale to be at the Mayor's Park for our grand reopening at the Mayor's Park, and let them get a personal invitation and say a couple of words as they wish. And unless there's some objection.
No, none.
Okay, great. And do we have a report out from PGCMA?
Nothing right now, Mayor.
Is there a meeting on this Thursday?
Yes.
There is a meeting this Thursday. Yes.
Okay, so
Did you you didn't get the link?
I got something. That's, I don't remember whether it was this Thursday. But did you notice it's what's her name from Upper Marlboro? She said to sign on by 6:15. The meeting starts at 7. Is
Can't
that a
hear you.
typo? She said
I'm sorry.
sign on by 6:15. The meeting starts at 7.
And I sent another one with the correct time, and I'll send another reminder tomorrow. With the,
Okay.
yeah, but I corrected the time.
Okay. It was supposed to be 6:45, I guess, right?
Yeah, yes,
I'm trying to observe
6:45.
it.
Yeah, no, don't log on that early.
Good. Yes. All right. Okay. That's what we know for PGCMA. I note that were you did anybody attend the MML conference?
No, I did
did.
not, Mayor.
Councilmember Mendoza, did I hear you say yes?
Yes, I did. How'd you like it, Mayor?
So I liked it less than June's. And I thought June's could have actually been better. I just didn't like all of those delegate questions. That was kind of weird because I didn't know who they were. You know, I mean, it's different when they do the secretaries, you know, the different secretaries because they serve all of us. But delegates and senators, they have their own section of the state. So that was kind of really weird. And there was a lot of time. The best session of all of the sessions was the young elected officials. And if they had done most of them that way, it would have been better. Because I didn't like at all that they had no interaction. We couldn't see anybody except for the speaker. They were webinars. It really
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
a conference. It was a webinar. You could only see the speaker. And the only session where we actually could all get on the screen and see was that session with the young electeds. And that was awesome. Were you on there, Melinda?
Yes, I was. I saw it.
Weren't they awesome?
It was good.
All right. And I learned a lot too. You know, I don't know, did you guys know that the symbol in Chevrolet was the symbol of the plantation that was in Chevrolet? And that's what their town symbol is what was the,
Hey,
I'm not
okay.
surprised.
Okay, guys, the chief just walked in here and reminded me that there is something on the agenda, and it's in your package, that I don't know, it didn't get on the agenda.
Oh,
So
about the gate,
the fence.
the fence. Yes, yes.
The mayor's part.
Yes, right.
what fence would
And
that be?
Mayor,
I know you've seen that fence looking across the street. And people going under and over, and all the poles are all fell down. We can't have a grand opening with it looking that way, a grand reopening looking like that. But in fact, we voted last week at the work session for to go ahead and get it done. And we made the transfers and everything, but we wanted to get more quotes. And so these, they were in your package. The quotes that we have is a fence, and they're going to give us 7 braces, 1 sleeve, 2 gate posts, 1 top rail, 1 line post, 1 drop road for the bobble tie and the whole fence around, 10 feet of chain link fabric for the gates, and a boulevard band. And that's $2,026.98. This company Long Fence, so what Long Fence is offering is to remove and haul away the damaged 6-foot high chain link fence materials, 6 existing chain link fence posts, and reset in concrete footing, replace 2.5 weight 40 gate posts to be set in concrete footing, replace approximately 50 feet of linear feet of 6 high black vinyl chain link fence fabric on existing fence and gate, replace approximately 20 feet of linear feet of 20 blah, 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 rail, retie all loose chain link fabric to line posts and top rail as needed, replace hardware on existing single swing gate and reinstall gate leaves onto posts, reset hinges and install new latch on the existing fence. This is Long Fence, and their quote is $2,880. The next one we have here is from Metropolitan Fence. And it's written in handwriting. I really can't read it. I see 56 feet of rail. Something about the gate and making adjustments to it, adjusting gate, 1 drop, something like a rail for the gate. Fence line, reconnect top rail where needed, and general repair. Their quote is $2,125. last week, the quote we had was 2125. And that, as I recall, was primarily changing all the posts, but not the fence. Not without the tightening up all the posts and whatnot onto the post around the fence. So kind of different. I mean, clearly long fences is way more thorough than all the rest of them. But you know, they're also about $800 more from AS. Um, 10 feet chain. And I don't know how y'all feel about it. I went to look at it myself now. ASA fence is only changing the chain length on the gate. I don't see anything else here. Otherwise, they're just doing everything else. And in fact, what we did was we voted and I think we transferred $2,125 for the fence is what we transferred. So what do y'all want to do?
Excuse me, Mayor, Councilmember Blue. Long fences was a 2,000 and let's say 300, round off 2,300, and they're going to do the work.
No, long fence is 2880.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like the main difference I see with long fence and the other two is that long fence is going to replace 50 linear feet of 6 feet high black vinyl. The other two are like repairs. I don't see them replacing much fence. So it's all about whether or not you want to have someone come in, tie everything up or whatever, or you want to have the,
I would prefer to have it all done new.
Councilmember Jackson, I agree. I prefer to have long fence take care of preparing the fence.
2880.
Yeah. What's the turnaround time? Will they be able to do it before our grand opening?
let's see if there's any language in here about time. Nothing about timing on here. Yeah, nothing on here. But I'm sure if we let them know, you know, what we're doing, what is it, 15? It's a good 19 days before, so it's a good 2 weeks more. And then their working material is guaranteed for a year. So even if we were going to go with the long fence, I want to ask if a motion is stated to go with long fence on this, that if long fence is unable to complete this work by our opening,
Would you go with
I
someone
would go
else?
with another company.
I knew you want to say that. Oh. Well, let's just hope that they'll be able to do it, Mayor.
Okay. So is that a motion? Go with long
Sure.
fence?
I'll make that motion to go with long fence, $2,880.
Is there a second? Okay, any discussion?
I'm hoping, Mayor, they will have it done for our opening.
Okay.
Have Mike call and let them know, so they'll know that we have an event coming up. Thank you.
Is it second? I'm sorry, I call for Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2, Ward 3, 4.
Aye.
Okay, so we're gonna have to transfer like another 800, well, I would just say $1,000 because we did our transfer of $2,100. So can we do another, just $1,000 to be safe over to wherever the line item is where the fence repair goes?
I'll make that transfer $1,000 over to the line item. This is maybe it's take care of the fence on the mayor's part.
Okay. And I second that, Mayor.
Um,
Second that motion.
okay. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call for vote 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4.
Aye.
Okay, so the mayor votes aye. Okay, thank you all very much. And I will ask if there are any citizens on the line who would like to make any comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Doug Bowles at 3602 41st. How are you all?
Evening.
Hi, Doug.
Hello.
Hi, I've been with you all night. This has been a wonderful meeting and very informative. I'm sort of speaking up just to sort of ask. I had heard there was a discussion about a speed bump potentially being proposed for 41st Avenue, and I was curious to know if there was any specific location.
So, my personal intention is to submit something to the residents of the street and get a recommendations from those. You all are most familiar with the challenges that you're facing on the street. And so that's the direction I was going to go in making that determination.
Okay, if I can just throw in two cents. I know that at least one of my neighbors is concerned about the idea because of damage to the car. But if a person is not speeding, there shouldn't be any problem. And in addition to that, I think if the location is not mid-block, but is actually at stop sign or stop signs, you are theoretically supposed to be stopping anyway. So it kind of shouldn't hurt your car because you should be slowing down for a stop sign anyway. But part of the issue is we have a racetrack out here, and especially since COVID, it's gotten worse. But the risk to life here it's frightening sometimes when people blow through all of these stop signs. So I would just, as a resident on the street, I would just encourage the idea of placement of a speed bump at the stop sign, not mid-block. I think when people hit a speed bump mid-block, they tend to speed back up because they feel like they've been slowed down, and they're actually encouraged to run the stop sign after that. And then I have one other question that's tied to that. Is it the state that controls the light at Bladensburg Road? Because I think one of the motivating factors is people just don't want to stop for stop signs, but the other one is the light at Bladensburg Road is very short. is there any way that Colmar Manor could petition the state or the county and ask that the length of that light be extended for us leaving our town?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think it's controlled by the county, even though it's a state road. I think the county's the one that does it. But yeah, we can reach out
That would be
and
great.
see.
I know the light down on Eastern Avenue when you're coming up Eastern Avenue and turning left on Bladensburg coming this way. That used to be very short. I mean, 5, 6, 7 extra cars would run it, and somehow they got the timing better on that light down there. I think the same thing would be helpful here.
Yep, we can definitely reach out and see if we can get some support for changing that. It's not that hard for them to change it. It's like they don't have to come out or anything. They have computers.
No, it should be easy. I mean, one thing we also desperately need is when you're coming down Bladensburg at that same intersection, turning left at the McDonald's into 41st, it would be so helpful if we had a left turn signal there. And I know that that's like asking the state to turn upside down, but it's really dangerous because at busy times, no one will let you turn. So the left turn either has to wait several cycles, or what most people do, of course, is run the light.
Well, at least you got a light. Those up there on, what is it, 40th? Where in between the KFC and the Burger King, they got nothing.
That's like taking your life into your hands. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know why the street exists because nobody should be making a left turn into there. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, so left turns. I am about getting a lengthier light change, but I have even personally and with pictures, try to get this left turn into the shopping center at Bladensburg and 38th. And we get.
Yeah, somewhere along there, it would be nice to have one. And then the final thing, I just wanted to say thanks. I saw Mike out today picking up trash along Newark, and I really appreciate him for that. For some reason, people seem to think Newark is just their personal trash dump, and we pick up what we can. But then it was nice to see him out. And I don't know what's going on, but there was a trash can at Newark and 41st, and I know that moved. And I noticed a new one came down here at Newton and 41st, which is great. But for some reason, people can't be bothered to actually push their trash down into the trash can. So quite often what happens is someone will take a big plastic bag full of beer cans, and they'll sort of sit it on top, and it won't go down in the hole. And then citizens start just piling more and more trash on top of that. And I'll pick up a stick and push it down in the hole, and you'll find out that the trash can is mostly empty. So I don't know if it's just I don't know what people's motivations are, but it's just a matter of just push the bag down in the trash can. And you end up with garbage overflowing. And so I've been taking sticks. With COVID, nobody wants to touch each other's anything, but I've been taking sticks when I can and just punching it down in there. But I don't know if there's a different kind of a lid that's hinged or a wider lid. I don't know, but I've seen it multiple times, just big bags of beer cans just set up on top of the trash can, not pushed down in, and then the trash starts to pile up. So I've been trying to do my best to poke it down in there when I go by, but
What happened?
Okay, good. I heard voices. I was like, is it just me? Did I?
Hey, guys,
Hello?
my computer died.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Doug, you still there, right?
Uh,
Still here, yes.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
um, I had to come back to my office. All right, so I'm sorry. I end of Doug, your comment. You were saying we
I was just
got to
saying
the
that
point about the left turn.
yeah, the trash can lid, I don't know why people can't just push their trash down in, but if they've got a big bag, it won't fit through the lid. And so instead of just pushing it down in there, they'll just stack it on top. So I was asking, I don't know, I'm sure that the hole is that size to keep it sanitary or to keep weather out. I don't know what the design reason is, but it's not wide enough for people to get their like 14 or 16 or 18 cans of beer in their plastic bag down in the hole. So they just sit it on top. So I don't know if there's a different kind of a lid or if we can take the lid off and just let it be open. I don't know what the answer is, but there's
The
just a
answer
lot
is
of,
to buy another trash can.
okay, well, let's do it.
Before we established buying trash cans for everybody, when I moved to this town, everybody had to buy their own trash can. There is an ordinance in the town in relationship to trash, is that your trash is to be in a receptacle that is contained with a top that's closed. So we do have a law on the books. And I know that our code enforcement is working through certain different areas of things to deal with. This is one of them. We're focused on recycling in the moment, but we will be getting back to we're focused on recycling and bulk trash. So two issues we have is people put out their bulk too early. We know that. And recycling, we have that we might not get recycling anymore. People keep putting plastic bags in. But we will be turning to a focus of the people with their lids open. So I don't know why people are afraid to buy new trash cans just because we provide them one. If you need another trash can, you should buy it. So we will start putting out warnings first. So people are starting to understand that it's really not acceptable for your lid to be open. It's unsanitary.
Well, Mayor, I'm speaking of the city provided can, not private cans.
Right, but what I'm saying is when they don't have enough, when they have filled the city provided trash can, they need another trash can for additional trash. We provide one. They should
Right.
get
I'm talking,
another if they need it.
Mayor, I'm talking about the metal trash can that's on the corner that's got
Right.
the Colmar Manor label on it.
You're talking about okay, I
Town
hear you.
trash can.
Right.
Okay,
Town
we're talking
Town
about
trash.
the public use trash cans.
Yes.
Right. And so
Okay, I'm sorry. You
That's
took me
okay.
down one of my pet peeves.
Well, listen, I
Oh,
walk my dog. I walk my dog through town every day, and it hurts my heart because we all love it here and we live here, and it's really sad to me to see how many people just simply throw their trash on the ground in our town. And I know that it's also people who live here, and it's sad to me. So, but these trash cans that the city does provide, what I was saying is that the lid on it is actually the hole in the top of the lid is a little smaller. So if they can't get their trash through it, instead of pushing it through the hole down into the trash can, they'll just leave it on top. And then other
but we're
folks
not.
come in and they think it's full. And so then they just pile their junk up on top of the city trash can. Meanwhile, the trash can is actually empty inside.
Well, I mean, what we're trying to understand right now is we're trying to understand why are people putting bags of trash in those trash cans. Those trash cans are there for you to drop your McDonald's or Burger King bag or your finished drink or things like that. They're not there for anybody to put bags of trash in. And I don't understand why people are putting bags of trash there when if they live in town, their trash is going to be picked up at their house. It's a mystery I'm trying to get solved. It shouldn't be happening at all.
Well, the bags I'm seeing don't look like household trash. They're mostly bags with lots and lots of beer cans in them. So
Beer cans?
It's somebody's beer party, I guess.
I don't know. I think we're going to get some cameras.
And the poor Bible church this morning was surrounded by beer cans, and people are walking down the street putting beer cans up in other people's yards. And it's just a shame. We have a beautiful little town. It's sad to see that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like, I think somebody had mentioned, since COVID, a lot of people have really gotten very disrespectful of the presence of things. I mean, just people just throwing trash in the street. I hate to agree with you. A lot of times these are people who live here. I don't get it. But we're just trying to focus on emptying the trash cans as often as possible. I asked the Public Works to see if they could get a couple of students who are doing who are getting community service for college to come in and just focus on just picking up on the streets and emptying those trash cans as frequently as possible. So, Public Works always gets caught up in a whole lot of other things. If we can just bring in some folks that's just all they do all day is just pick up the trash you see, and let's get those trash cans empty. Hopefully that'll help out.
Thank you. Thank you all for
You're
listening.
welcome. Thank you, and I thank you for your future thoughts as well.
Y'all stay well.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Hi, everybody. It's Jason from 3400 block of 41st Avenue. Can you hear me?
Say your name again. No, not quite, but say your name again.
It's Jason from the 3400 block of 41st Avenue. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I'm just calling to respond about the speed bumps. As early as last July, we actually had one of our residents' children almost ran over by a car speeding down the street. It seems to be a raceway from the Legion down pretty much to McDonald's, and they blow right through the stop sign at Newton and just keep going pretty much. And when the Legion is open during their regular times, when they close at night as well, it's a raceway. They pretty much all leave and just fly down our street, it's our main street pretty much.
Yeah, we're hearing you, so we're going to be doing something to work it out. I mean, it's the long streets that have such a huge problem because
I think with us, we would probably need one in the middle and then probably one to the stop sign, like Doug was saying, because that would stop them. Because I think what it is also they see the light and they try to race to the light from the end. So that's all. I just wanted to comment. There's about 5 residents that I'd left know that are discussing speed bumps, because we've actually talked to Mary Sims about this in the past, and we were going to do a petition and never got around to it. But it's good to hear that we're actually discussing it at this point, because it is a safety issue. We have a lot more children in the 3400 block that are growing up right now too as well. There's probably about 15 kids that live in our block.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's helpful. It's helpful to have additional comments. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any comments? All right, guys. Well, good meeting. I think we got some things done, and I'll work on getting a letter out to the 41st Avenue before the end of this week, and then we'll go from there. Council members?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Blue in Ward 1. We're having the same problem. Perhaps we could get a letter also for Newark Road. People come in down on 43rd and they just use it as a speedway, and they go out behind Burger King back down to avoid the lights. And as we spoke at the last meeting, we had 2 residents down there that were asleep, and a car ran up and hit the house. And so would you please consider that also for a speed hump?
Well, we have several speed bumps on Newark Road. But I can tell you that, and the chief can say what if he wants to add to it, but they have been doing some sitting at known locations. I think it's more of a stop sign issue than it is a speeding issue. People need to stop the stop signs.
Well, the car that
But-
ran in there was speeding. That's how it lost control and ran into the yard.
Well, if he stopped at the stop sign, he couldn't have lost control.
He didn't. He was speeding.
He couldn't stop at the stop sign. He
No,
didn't stop at the stop sign.
He was speeding.
Even if he was speeding, if he stopped at the stop sign, he wouldn't have run into the house. He didn't stop at the stop sign.
No, he did not stop because he was speeding. When you're speeding, you don't stop at no signs.
Well, no, that's not true. I mean, somebody can speed all the way down the road and be annoying to whomever, but still stop at the stop sign. If that guy stopped at the stop sign, speeding or not, he couldn't speed through the stop sign if he's. I'm just saying, stop sign is a big issue.
Right, no one. Right, I stood down there with the ladies for over 2 hours, and not just the person that hit her house. I wasn't there when that happened, but the time that I was there, no one hardly stops at that stop sign. Maybe we could put something up, make it brighter or something, but no one stops at the stop sign. And a lot of the people are the people that live in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So Chief, we'll put that on the list of advice. There are no residents right there to decide in terms of asking people how they feel about it. The one thing I just want to make sure everybody knows on the record is that when we do put in bumps, it really makes it much more difficult for clearing snow. And that's just a fact. It makes it more difficult to get the snow cleared properly. So we weigh the best that we can in the situations. But Chief, you want to add? Because I have seen I've seen cops kind of just sitting around that corner there, just trying to get people used to it. Are they giving out citations or warnings or anything?
Yeah, all of the above. Some citations and some warnings, and it's both residents and non-residents coming through there. And we can talk further about placement. As I mentioned the other night, speed bumps to me, every corner, every block is fine. But they have their drawbacks as well, from snow plow, from snow removal to slowing down emergency equipment to if there's a few places where the buses pass through town and that they can damage the road when you have the heavier vehicles coming over them constantly. I'm in favor of them.
Right. And also in that we're trying to get the bicycles and the bike ride in here, we're really, really hard for bicycles to deal with, the bumps around cars and things like that. So I mean, it's I agree they need to go in places that they really need to go, but if we can do certain other things to slow it down a little bit, we also need to try other things. Is there any opportunity, Chief, for us to get one of those, rent or borrow one of those signs that tells you how fast you're going?
I'll check. There's a couple agencies that have them. I'll check. We'll see if we can get one for a period. Okay,
that would be great. Because am I right in saying, because I thought I had heard that it does tend to create an awareness that lasts for a little while after you can take them out?
Oh, yes. People see it because it displays the speed limit and what you're actually doing. So you get to see that the speed limit is 25 and you're doing 35.
Well, that would be great if we could find out how much those cost, and if they're less than if it's less than $500, we could probably move forward and try to get one there at 37th and Newark Road, and also on 41st Avenue as a start, even before getting the bumps, so that we can start drawing awareness to people of what they're doing.
And I think at less of we'll be borrowing. I think for the basic ones are 2,000 to 3,000.
No, for rent, they don't rent them?
No, not that I know of. A couple of the municipalities own them, and the smaller municipalities borrow from them on occasion. I can check see if they rent them. They might.
Oh, well, I mean, if we can borrow them, it don't cost us anything. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you,
All
Chief
right,
John.
check.
You're welcome.
I heard you with the sour ones in sour
Thank
ones.
you.
Where did it go from?
Anybody else need to say something for the good of the order? Okay. So with that, with not hearing any, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
This is Councilmember Jackson. Stated.
Was that Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Well, okay, yes. And it's the second?
Councilmember Blue.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen.
all.
Okay, y'all take care. Bye.
You
Good
too.
night.
Good
Good night.
night.
What's that do?